So I have a story from Bengal called Gopal Bhar, the Star Counter. Many centuries ago, there was a Maharaja in Bengal who was known for his wisdom and his learning. Of course, sometimes these reputations are unearned, and it's really someone else who's done all the work, and this was his case. So, at one point, because of his great reputation, the Nawab, whom he owed fealty to, sent a messenger and said, "Maharaja, your reputation for wisdom and learning is vast, and I have a mission for you. And if you do not complete this mission within a year, you will forfeit your kingdoms to me." And the mission was that he had to measure the width and the length of the world, and on top of that, count all the stars in the sky. Now, the Maharaja was distressed by this because he knew his reputation was unearned, because he had a friend who did all of the work that involved wisdom and learning. And so in this panic, he went to his friend, and his friend is Gopal Bhar. And he said, "Excellency, why are you so distressed?" And the Maharaj explained the situation. And Gopal Bhar said, "This I can help you with, Excellency. You will send a message to the Nawab requesting a stipend of 1,000,000 rupees, and I will have this done within a year." Now, this is when 1,000,000 rupees was really 1,000,000 rupees. And consequently, the Nawab felt that this was a reasonable request and sent the stipend. Now, Gopal Bhar, of course, realized, I need a place and time to think. So he spent his rupees initially building a palace for himself. And then he spent some of this money to hire a chef to keep him well fed so he could enjoy all sorts of delicacies while he thought. And he used some of this money to hire musicians and dancers to stimulate his mind during this whole time, and invited his friends. And as the year progressed, enjoying food and music and dance and a wonderful palace, the money was beginning to run out. So exactly 1 year later, to the hour, he goes to the Maharaj and says, "This job is going to take me a little bit longer. Could you please request of the Nawab another year and another 1,000,000 rupees, and I will be done next year?" And the request was filled. So once again, Gopal Bhar enjoyed his palace and his music, his fine food, his fine drink, the dancers, and he actually was able to save some money this year because he had become very wise in these sorts of expenditures. And finally, 1 year later, to the very hour, he arrives at the Nawab's palace with a procession of 15 ox-driven carts, each with this tangled, matted, knotted, fine thread in one big pile in one cart, and then that yarn extending the next cart to another knotted, matted pile to the next cart. 15 carts had to carry this pile of knotted and matted thread. And then behind that, there were 5 of the wooliest, fattest sheep you had ever seen. And the Nawab said, "Gopal Bhar, what are the figures? You have my measurements?" He says, "I don't have figures. That was not the request. It was only a measurement." "Then where's the measurement if there are no figures?" And he said, "This first 7 wagons, that thread, is the length of the earth. The next 8 wagons, the thread, is the width of the earth. And those sheep, those are the exact number of hairs as the stars in the sky." It took me a very long time to find the sheep with the right number of hairs. And with that, he received the reward of the 1,000,000 rupees, and he was able to enjoy himself for quite some time, at least until the Nawab had untangled the thread.